Girls! Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Green Lantern, Bumblebee, Zatanna, the DC Superhero Girls!
What the hell is even that?
What exactly is DC Superhero Girls? It sounds like a simple question, but the answer's actually a little bit more complicated than you might think. This video has been in the making for years now. It sounds like a joke, and maybe it's funny like one too, but it's actually fact. I've been trying to figure out just how to talk about this specific brand for literal years. This all started when a subscriber of mine requested that I review a DC Superhero Girls movie. And I thought, yeah, sure, sounds easy enough, why not? Now, mind you, I've never watched a DC Superhero Girls anything, outside of one crossover movie, because I was pretty sure that I wasn't exactly their target demographic. I'm sure it was fine, it just wasn't for me. I'm not a girl, I'm not a superhero, I'm not even a DC for that matter, so I've kind of just always passed on the show. Judging it from a distance, it's always seemed like what I could only describe as the love child of Teen Titans Go and My Little Pony. Granted, I have seen neither of those shows, I'm also judging them from a distance as well. So knowing so little about what this actually is, I went into this movie expecting this.
You're messing with the look!
Clark!
Don't call me Clark, Tara!
What you gonna do about it, Clark?
And instead, I got this.
Any sign of the criminal, Bumblebee?
No, but an old pumpernickel sandwich in Beast Boy's locker just committed a crime against my nose.
What is that? What the is that?
Clearly, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. These weren't the DC Superhero Girls that I didn't know. These were different DC Superhero Girls that I didn't know. It's not the stranger I was a little bit familiar with, it's the stranger who's a stranger to me entirely. From what I could see, it looked like it was a completely different canon and continuity, and that's because it was.
For the most part.
The series' style seems to change with each new installment. These aren't really connected outside of the brand name and the characters associated with it. So it's almost like this keeps rebooting itself with a completely different vision each and every time. Just imagine what Teen Titans did, except the change didn't stick and they just kept going through phases. DC Superhero Girls is like the Beatles of DC properties, with the way that it constantly reinvents itself. Or, I guess you could see it as some YouTubers say, the same vision viewed under a different lens. What's wild is that outside of the title and the titular characters, everything else changes. Each new telling of the tale is a new approach to the mythos. Sometimes they look like this, sometimes they look like that, sometimes they're just building blocks. Because why not? What stays consistent, though, is the names attached to the project, with most of the voice cast returning and prizing their roles over time. And whatever your feelings might be toward this type of content, you can't deny that it's well cast. The brand features a bunch of returning voice casts outside of their own premise, with Teen Titan actors Hynden Walsh stepping back in for Starfire, Greg Cripes becoming Beast Boy yet again, Kari Payton playing Cyborg like no one else can, Kevin Michael Richardson re-emerging as Raven's father Trigun, John DiMaggio goes ape again as Gorilla Grodd, Fred Tatasciore is cast as Killer Croc once more, Josh Keaton's finally back as the Flash, Ray Griffin as Wonder Woman, and maybe the most welcome, and most unsurprising, Tara Strong returns to the parts of Raven and Harley Quinn. They even bring back some major blasts from the past to play a part and nurture nostalgia, with former Superman Dean Cain and former Supergirl Helen Slater playing the parts of Jonathan and Martha Kent. Funnily enough, the pair would actually go on to appear as a couple on screen years later on another Superman-related series, Supergirl, in which this time around they're playing Kara's adoptive parents. A lot of unseen famous faces make up the cast. Granted, this is all for the most part, because there are in fact some actors who are recast,
never to return again.
The first-timers are up for the roles they're given as well. Yvette Nicole Brown is kind of perfect for Amanda Waller. Or at least the way this brand portrays Amanda Waller, keeping her in a position of power and authority by making her the girls' school principal. These are just some of the names that stand out. Despite this, these series aren't connected and quite frankly at times, couldn't feel any more different. These are the same characters, but they're also not always the same characters. They're mostly depicted the same, but rarely do they look the same from one project to the next. The situations also differ. So much time and detail went into creating and then continually recreating this that it almost makes me ask what it was all for. I always thought this was created for a much younger and much more casual audience. I mean, I don't want to say it's on the level of Batwheels, but I genuinely did believe it was on the level of Batwheels. But I must be mistaken, because this has to be somewhat successful for them to have put so much work into this and got so much work out of this in the short amount of time it's existed. From what I can see, the brand got its start back in 2015, and seems to have ended in some capacity around 2021. Within that time, they put out 74 episodes of a show and 6 movies. This is like the reverse Community. Instead of 6 seasons in a movie, they had 6 movies in a TV show.
2 of them.
And then they even returned for a follow-up film to cross over officially with Teen Titans Go, whom they had already unofficially crossed over with several times before that. Yeah, you figure that one out, because I'm not even going to bother trying. On top of that, there's also a web series and video games, comics and novels. Novels which in of themselves have already been rebooted and retconned several times as well. You just can't predict DC superhero girls. There's no such thing as certainty with this brand. You never know how it will approach the material it's given, and you don't even know what the material it's been given is. You don't even have the luxury of knowing the name of the brand, as it seems to change depending on where and when you're watching it. Yeah, superhero 1 word or 2. Yes, there's just a lot happening here, and I don't even know if anyone else is paying attention to it. So what exactly is DC Superhero Girls? Well, it's a real mixed bag. To be honest, I probably can't do it justice, or in some cases, the injustice that it deserves with just one video, which is why I'm going to be talking about these adaptations separately and judging them on their own merit. I'm not going to be making individual videos for each and every one of these films, as that just seems like a waste of everybody's time, but instead I'm going to be putting a spotlight on each iteration of the brand. The good, the bland, the Legos, and everything in between, if there is anything in between. So join me in getting to the bottom of this mystery. If you like this video and would be interested in joining me in this journey through this madness, let me know in the comment section below by leaving a comment saying,
So I'm guessing you're a DC fan.
I am vengeance. I am the night, and that was V Infuso. Just remember, if you're not tuning in, then you're missing out.
So, if you like the words that came out of his mouth hole, and you too would like to become a V-generate, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, nerds!
And if you're not joining the fun, you're in for one bad day. And you know what they say about having one bad day?
Catch him next time. Same bat time. Same bat channel.